Let's share together some of the frustrating situations during hysteroscopic surgery when the cervix is wide, patulous, and there is a lot of leakage that cannot sustain a proper intrauterine fluid pressure to stretch the uterine cavity. You can see the leakage here coming from the external os, so I will add to you a very simple tip. You use a single tooth tenaculum and to grab the angle of the cervix at the position of 3 o'clock. By this, you tighten, look at this. By using this, you tighten the external os over the sheath. So there will be a very much reduced leakage and you sustain the pressure inside the uterine cavity. Here, the cervical canal ending to, as you see, there's a uterine septum. And without the proper stretching of the cavity, you will not be able to see the septum with this very nice nostril nose view. And anteriorly, this white shadow or this white area is an site of a previous cesarean section scar. Okay, so now after sustaining a good stretching of the septum, now you can cut. And in fact, stretching the septum facilitate the cutting. When you have a turbid view like this, so pull back the scissor, push your sheath toward the cornea, open the outflow and push jet inflow. That will make a turbulence and cleaning of the cavity so you can see well, and then you can use the scissor. And please notice the technique of cutting. You cut and pull back. Don't never cut and push forward. Cut. When you cut and pull back, you get, number one, more open panoramic view. When the scissor is pushed forward, it occupies part of the image. So when you pull back, you can get a better panoramic view so you can do assessment how much is cut, and you can do assessment about the level of cutting, because sometimes, because of the 30-degree, not sometimes, always, because of the 30-degree nature of the lens, you will be looking more anteriorly and you will lose the vision on the posterior aspect. In some instances, you might get lost and find yourself cutting more towards posterior direction. As you can see here, I can feel that I am doing a little bit unequal cutting in the midline, because you see I can appreciate the thickness of the anterior part is more. So in septum surgery, you readjust the level of cutting just a few millimeters, 1 millimeter up, 2 millimeters down, to keep an equal retraction. Cutting the septal tissues. What is this bleeding? Don't get frightened. You know what happened? Because the inflow has stopped. The bottle of water has stopped, so that's why when you lose the pressure, the intravascular pressure is higher than the intrauterine pressure, and you get this pumping bleeder. In fact, this bleeding is not serious at all, but the serious aspect, that little blood with the fluid, then everything will look like red ink, and you'll not be able to identify yourself, and you probably will finish either in perforation or incomplete, unfinished procedure. So it's all about how to calibrate, how to negotiate, how to readjust the intrauterine pressure continuously. The situation is not like in laparoscopy. All beginners used on setting the new insufflator on a certain number, then they forget all about the distension and keep working for a few hours. If you apply this rule in hysteroscopy, you will get lost. You should continuously increase or decrease the intrauterine fluid pressure to maintain, to sustain a good panoramic view like you see now. So this is the real-time procedure, only 4 minutes. I wish you enjoyed these tips. This is Osama Shawki from Cairo, Egypt.